events in this afternoon to take us through to a total of 24 across the weekend. If you're joining us online, thank you for being with us. I can see some swimmers raring and ready to go for heat number 1.
Roger, 53, heat 1, lane 1.
And there will be 11 heats in our opening event, which is a contrast to, in our next event, the 100 butterfly, only 3 heats in the open male and 2 in the female. That is our least entered event, naturally, of the weekend. Whereas the 400 free, one of the most populated in terms of entries. I do have the entry times here somewhere, so I will refer to them when relevant. If you're watching at home, you got the session lineup on your screen. Officially session 3, got session 4 later on this afternoon. It's a 4-session weekend. All right, this is day 2. We're going to kick off with event number 11. Again, it's the mixed 400 metre freestyle, 11 heats. This is heat number 1. All right, kicking things off from lane 1. Should have 7 swimmers, and we do. Perfect. Jenny Ball in 1 for Ryde. Chris Jessup for Salisbury in 2. Elizabeth Savage for King's Cormorant in 3. Shelley Robinson for Sevenoaks in 4. Rose Dudney for Mid Sussex Marlins in 5. Claudine Day for Redhill and Reigate in 6. And Janet Wood for Stroud Masters is in lane number 7. On the entries, we're somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes. Yeah, Janet Wood, who was the fastest on paper, 7:04. And Jenny Ball has got, I'm going to call that an estimated 10 minutes, because it's 10 minutes to the 100th of a second. So it might be a conversion from short course, or an estimation based on 800. We shall see. halfway, and Janet Wood, as anticipated, as our leader, and this is actually going exactly to form. If you weren't here yesterday, and that includes you online, the way, other than the fastest heat of any event, they're all seeded from near side to far side. So Janet Wood is fastest on paper, Claudine Day is second fastest, etc. And right now it is lane 7 leading, then lane 6, then lane 5, then lane 4, 3, and the only anomaly is 2 and 1, Chris Jessup and Jenny Ball at the moment, with plenty to swim. We had yesterday, in the whole day, there was 1 win from lane 1, which is always a bit of a turn up, because lane 1, 95% of the time, will be the slowest qualifier of the pool, so always a nice surprise. Of course, we had plenty of wins from lanes 8, 7 and 6. And some incredible wins in lane 4 in our fastest heats, which are seeded from the centre. And Janet's entry time again, 7:05. So she'll be just outside that. She will take our first win of the day. 7:04 in fact, done her a disservice there on the qualifier. Well done Janet, 7:14.93, first winner of the morning. Always nice to get the first one out the way. Then Claudine Day and Rose Dudney in second and third. Again, those two just outside their qualifying times. Fourth place in lane 4. All in order this, Shelley Robinson. Shelley's entry time, 7:45, just gone beyond that. And about 10 metres back is going to be Elizabeth Savage. .400 metres in the bank for Shelley, 8:07. And here's Elizabeth, 8:28.09. And then finally we'll have Chris Jessup and Jenny Ball. Jenny Ball will be the first of those two home. Jenny's time, I'm going to call it a prediction of 10 minutes. And she's going to be a good amount of time underneath that, more like 9:30, I'd imagine. And Chris Jessup, who's now on his way back as well, his 9:45 entry. Not going to be a million miles away. And Jenny comes home. She is, just having a quick look through, the only Vet 85 in this event. So well done, Jenny. And she finishes in 9:33. And then Chris Jessup for Salisbury, who is goes into the Vet 80 category this year. And is the only Vet 80 in the event. So another well done for Chris. 10:04. This is heat number 2. Taking part in our second heat from lane 1 and a full pool. Sharon McClellan for Hadley. Nicholas Crew for Medway Maritime. Craig Mortimer for Lewis. Amanda Doyle for King's Cormorant. Zorica Adams for Camden Swiss Cottage. Stuart McClellan for Hadley. Roger Startin for Dover Lifeguard Club. And Kevin Whitby representing Hythe. And now on the qualifiers, I believe we should be all sub 7 minutes now. I'll just double check on that. So Sharon McClellan, yeah, 6:47, and Kevin Whitby, who should be our fastest, 6:30. Yeah. So as with all events, the further we go deeper into the heat numbers, the less time between first to eighth fastest. And now, whereas in heat number 1 we had 3 minutes between first and last, we've now got only about 15 seconds on paper. Big asterisks there on paper. Halfway leader, Roger starting. 3.5 seconds between he and Kevin Whitby. In different age categories. This will be the story of the, we mentioned it several times yesterday. On very rare occasions, maybe more so in this event because there's a lot more entries. Not necessarily racing against each other, especially in the well-entered and mixed categories. That halves the chance of having a direct race. So winning a heat is lovely, but what you're trying to do, of course, is just set the fastest time and get the fastest time in your age group and gender. So you could, theoretically, and we see this, finish 8th and last in the heat, but it's irrelevant because you can still win medals in your age category. And especially in the next event, which is the 100 fly, with only 2 heats in the female competition, the chances are everyone gets a medal. So Roger started very well, and he's grown the gap towards 300 metres. Finishing 6:19. And that lead just grew and grew and grew. Kevin Whitby will hold on to second place. Fairly fast finishing Stuart McClellan and Zorica Adams. So the first 4 on this near side. Then we'll have Sharon McClellan come through for 5th place. 6:42, 5 seconds quicker than her entry time. And then tight between Mortimer and Doyle. Just wait for Mortimer's time to be confirmed. Yeah, 400ths between them once it is coming up after the backup time. Nicholas Crew, 6:56. So everyone comfortably sub-7 as we expected, so well done all. Heat number 3. Heat 3, Carl Reitzenbach for King's Cormorant, Timothy O'Brien for City of Southampton, Marianne Rook-Alden for Croydon Amphibians, Kate King for Wickham District, Eleanor Matthews for Dover Lifeguard Club, Laura Quay for Hastings, Becky Owen for Atlantis, and Catherine McCartney for Dover Lifeguard Club. Looking around about the 6:30s now. Oh no, I'm wrong. Catherine McCartney, 6:03 on the entry. Yeah, between 6 minutes and 6:30. We may see, if somebody pulls out a worldie, get a sub-6. Things going very well for Becky Owen, representing Atlantis. Jumps into the Vet 35 category this year. Closest challenger, about 8 or 9 metres back in 3, Marianne Rook-Alden, and then Eleanor Matthews in 5. Kate King in 4th, Laura Quay in 6th, or lane 6, 5th place should say. So we are going to be definitely in the low, very low 6s, maybe even, what's the split time here? It's 49. Yeah, unless she puts that hammer down in the last 50 metres, we are going to be just outside 6, which was right on the paperwork, what we thought would be the case. Or can she go? In fact, she's looking very good, isn't she? You could get sub-6 here. Oh, she's definitely sped up, because her last split was 40, what was it, 45. Oh yeah, she's gone a lot faster on this final one. Great work from Becky Owen. Comes in a 44-second final split to dip under 6 minutes by a few seconds. Wonderful. Well done, Becky. And Eleanor Matthews, 6:08. In fact, had a quicker split coming back, 43.5 seconds on the final 50. And Marianne Rookholden, so those two places switched in the final 100 metres. And Kate King, Laura Quay, Catherine McCartney, Tim O'Brien and Carl Reitenbach will complete heat 3 for us. Carl's just gone over his qualifying time, but we can't beat them all. I know we get used to it. Plenty of new age group personal bests. And still under 7 minutes. Well done, Carl. That is heat number 3. Heat number 4. In heat 4, you've got Deborah Startin for Dover Lifeguards, Caroline Jubb for Wickham District, David Bell for Bracknell, Daniel Bromley for Didcot and Barramundi, Jennifer Kelly for Spencer, Niels Rasmussen for Royal Tunbridge Wells, Sarah Meaves for Wickham District, and Antonio NG for Out to Swim. So we're going to go sub 6 minutes this time. I'm absolutely certain. Antonio NG in 550. And pretty much everybody else 602 or below. So should get a few, but it's day 2, and almost every name you hear now, they're swinging their sometimes 4th, 5th race of the weekend. It is a quite relentless schedule. Caroline Jubb in lane 2. Wow. I mentioned earlier, we don't see many wins from lanes 1 or 2. There was one win in lane 1 yesterday. There might have been one in lane 2. And at the moment, Caroline Jubb is going to buck the trend of the morning, and maybe even the day, pick this up. However, in 5, Jenny Kelly will have her eyes on that first place prize too. They're just in different age brackets by one span of 5 years. Then in lane 7, Sarah Meaves of Wickham District. They're your front 3, and a very clean front 3 too. Strong finish from Jennifer Kelly. She's going to pip this one. They're both going to go way under 6 minutes. I think Sarah Meaves will do as well. So, new fastest time of the event coming up, and it is a 5:41. Well done, Jennifer. Superb work. Caroline, 3 seconds back. That's a great time from lane 2. And Sarah Meaves, 5:47. So all 3 of them break the previous fastest time through a few heats. David Bell, first man home, 5:57. Strong finish for sub 6. And Deborah started 6:07. And you get Dan Bromley, 6:10. Niels Rasmussen, 6:14. And Antonio NG will close at 84 for us. Again, there's 11 heats in our opening event. And we'll get quicker and quicker. And now a total of 4 times sub 6. Antonio 6:31, and that is heat completed. Heat number 5. through halfway. And it's Chris Dunn. All of these swimmers are between 5:40 and 5:50 on the entry times. There'll be less than 10 seconds between the whole bunch now. Adam Lillian is the man with the 5:40. Eowyn McDonnell at the 5:50. So not a lot between them at all, and Eowyn doing very nicely. Currently sitting in 4th position out of the 8. And Adam Lillian did have the fastest split. He's catching up on Chris Dunn. Let's see the split times here. So 44.93, and again Lillian picks up half a second. And he's only a second or so back. So at this rate, with Lillian catching Dunn at half a second per 50 metres, we could be all tied up come the end. Let's get a view from above. Once again, it's closer. So 3 splits in a row. Adam Lillian's been quicker than Chris Dunn, but by the thinnest of margins. A few tenths of a second here and there. But it does set us up for a nice finish. And they come right alongside. In fact, as Lillian just got a fingertip in front now. Chris Dunn has led for the first 350 metres. I'll make that 375. But he might get pipped right in the final few. Let's see. Oh my word, this is tight. Crikey, Chris Dunn holds on. 5:42.79, wins it by 24 hundredths of a second. And Lillian had a faster split on the last 4 consecutive splits only by tenths of a second. Matt Winsmith. Great to see Matt in 3rd place, 5:55. Had some good races on the ultra scene against Matt. 4th place for McDonnell and 5th for Bindler. This is heat number 6. Taking part in Heat 6, Andrew Huckle for South Downs Trojans, Sally Winter for Bishop Stortford, Gordon Coots for Totnes, Paul Smoothie for Guildford City, Pippa Baker for Crawley, Christopher Freeman for Teddington, Noala Muir-Cochrane for South Downs Trojans, and Nicola Bushell, City of Canterbury. It's Heat 6 of 11. Jump back to those entry times. Everyone in the around about the 5:30s, not a lot of difference whatsoever now. We are talking less than 10 seconds per heat between front and back. Chris Freeman for Teddington leads the way, his final year in the Vet 55 category. Noala Muir-Cochrane and Nicola Bushell swimming as a team of two in lanes 7 and 8. Nice catch, Chris. He's approaching his final 50. In the middle in 4, Paul Smoothie. And a bit of a solo swim there. A few metres off the front and a few metres ahead of the rest. Chris's entry time was 5:30. And it's going to be closer to 5:20. We'll set a new fastest time in the event by over 20 seconds. Well done, Chris, great work, 5:21.20, lovely stuff. Noala Muir-Cochrane will hold off Nicola Bushell for second and then third. Also going sub 5:30, Bushell just outside. Those two ladies in different age categories. Paul Smoothie, fourth, 5:37, and these are the times we'll be expecting around about the 5:30s. 5:43, Andrew Huckle. Gordon Coots, 43, and Sally Winter, 48 seconds past 5 minutes. There's confirmation of those results. This is heat number 7. From the top, you've got Alex Sutton for Maidenhead, Stuart Swaffer for Woking, David Wright for Team Luton, Lucy Young for Teddington, Ray Shewell-Cooper for Borough of Newham, Richard Pavitt for Bracknell, Rob Arnold for Trafford Metro, and Ben Coles for City of Brighton and Hove. Having a chat with Rob earlier, he's the only representative for Trafford Metro this weekend. So naturally up from Manchester, but spends time in London as well. Hence he's not too far away. Already won a few medals this week, or weekend. Hoping for more on day 2. Ben Coles is your leader. And youngest man in the water. So we're looking at, we've already had a 5:21 and a couple of sub 5:30s in the previous heat. All entrants here are 5:28 or less. And just to tell you the direction of travel, we do go into the very sub 4:30s by the time we get to heat number 11. And they are, as a general rule, of course, the not that it's a given, but the lower age categories got a couple of vet 30s, vet 25s in there. Ben Coles will lead by just a couple of seconds over Richard Pavitt at the 3/4 mark, and Rob Arnold. And everyone else comes in together. Shewell-Cooper, Sutton, Young, Wright and Swaffer. And Ben Coles is going to take our 7th heat. So again, 5:20 on his entry time. Looking solidly underneath. Just going to be outside 5:10, I imagine. Then it's going to be Richard Pavitt. 5:11.52, Ben Coles. Winner from start to finish. Then Richard Pavitt, always in second. Couldn't quite catch the tail of Ben Coles. But ahead of third, which is Rob Arnold, 5:22. And in lane 1, lovely swim by Alex Sutton, 5:26. That's a great effort. And Lucy Young Ray Shule Cooper, Stuart Swaffer and David Wright. Seat Southern. This is seat number 8. Heat number 8. From lane 1, Miles Hanlon for Out to Swim. Sorrel Kenny for South Downs Trojans. Ron Mau for Teddington. Sarah Preston for Atlantis. Nicola Mella for Beckenham. Adam Harper for Mid Sussex Marlins. Lizzie Guinea for Didcot Barramundi. And Elizabeth Tarr representing Teddington. And it's Lizzie Guinea who had a good day yesterday too for Didcot Barramundi. She's another one of those that will be in a new age group next year. Elizabeth Tarr in second, just, because in the middle, in 4, 5 and 6, that's Sarah Preston, Nicola Mella and Adam Harper. I'm going to chuck Sorrel Kenny in there as well. There's 4 of them. You could use them as a ruler. But no question marks on who's going to be our winner here. Lizzie will take it. It's a matter of the time. 5:11 is the fastest set thus far. So 5:08 is Lizzie's qualifying time. The rest of the field are all sub 5:20. So she's having an out-and-out good swim here. More than good. Can she go sub 5 minutes? Certainly she can. It'll be well just. Blimey, 4:59.18. Well done, Lizzie. Cracking swim, sub 5 minutes. Wonderful. First person to do it today. Big smile on her face. Then the fight per second goes down to Elizabeth Tarr, just over Sorrel Kenny. Adam Harper, Nicola Mella, and Ron Mau, Sarah Preston. Oh, that's a cracking heat. Gets her breath back. This is heat number 9. Taking part in heat 9. Eleanor Wallace for Stride Masters. Eboilis Senes for Greenwich Royals. Paul Allen for Boston. Lauren Askew for Atlantis. Michelle Ware for Woking. Ernesto Panicia for Mid Sussex Marlins. Jared Golden for Greenwich Royals. And Chris Millard for Medway Maritime. And it's Paul Allen who leads in lane 3 from Chris Millard in 8. As I have said a few times, only about 10 seconds or so from front to back in terms of entry qualifying times. But still the faster on the near side to the 8th fastest on the far side. We don't get too many wins. I think there's been a few today from the far side of the pool. Might get another one here because Paul Allen still leads by just over a second to the final 100 metres. It all can change. Then Lauren Askew, Jared Golden, Eleanor Wallace, Michelle Ware. Right, we've had a few good finishes so far today. We're going to get another one here. Paul Allen is actually extending his lead to about body length or so over Chris Millard. They'll both be great times. They're both going to be very close to 5 minutes. Should be under. Paul Allen will. Chris might just miss out. Oh, they both get it, crikey. Paul Allen 4:59.01 and Chris, great strong finish, 4:59.73. Chris's split time was about half a second quicker just on the last 50. Closed the gap slightly. I'd like to see those last few metres again from Chris because he was a body length behind with 25 to swim, but pulled it back to within less than a second. Heat number 10. Penultimate heat in our opening event of day 2 is from lane 1, Jess Partridge for Stride Masters, Fleur Turner for Basingstoke, Hannah Angel for Woking, teammate Jason Richardson for Woking, Chris Hopton for Camden Swiss Cottage, Doriana Pirozzi for Basingstoke, Martina Cambruzzi for Winchester, and Sammy Wilson for Rushmore Royals. Rapid start for Jason Richardson. Jason's entry, 5 minutes on the button. So I'm going to take that as a predictive time, because he'll be splitting in 37s right now when he's got one to swim. He's going to do about a fourth, more like a 4:30, 4:40, 4:50. Behind him, maybe 6 or 7 metres, got the all-female pair of Fleur Turner and Hannah Angel. Then, in 6, Doriana Perozzi. And Hopton, Partridge, Cambruzzi, and Sammy Wilson. But that is a pretty big win, isn't it, for Jason Richardson? Looked good from the start, never slowed down. And he's going to go 5:47.23 for first place. One heat to come. Fleur Turner just getting the best of Hannah Angel in the last 50 metres. 4:56, 4:57. Quick finish from Doriana Perozzi, 4:58. So great to see 4 of them go sub 5 minutes. Just outside were Chris Hopton and Jessica Partridge. Cambruzzi and Wilson close out our penultimate. One more to go in the 400 freestyle. Heat number 11. Final heat swimmers, Peter Dixon for Tower Hamlet, Dan Was for Portsmouth North Sea, James Blaby for Maidenhead, Mark Tuddenham for Woking, Oliver Etheridge for Atlantis, David Morse for Otter, James Dickinson for Beausejour Barracuda, and Martin Bennell for Basingstoke. Mark Tuddenham, who was a winner yesterday, his fastest qualifying time is 4:13, which is 9 seconds quicker than Ollie Etheridge, but a halfway, nothing to separate them. The final heats in every event is the only heat where we centrally seed. In fact, it's James Blaby next door to Mark Tuddenham, isn't it? James's entry time, 4:24. Oh yeah, almost the same as Oliver's actually. It's 4:22 and 4:24. Mark Tuddenham just pulling out a third of a second advantage. This will be a lovely finish. Wonder if Mark is just biding his time for a strong final 100 or 50. But right now it looks like pressure is properly on, coming from Blaby, then James Dickinson, then Ollie Etheridge, then your top half. So here we go, both of them splitting just a few tenths either side of 34 seconds. Tottenham the quicker. The lead just moves up by about a third of a second over that last 50 metres. And these guys are exactly the same age this year, so this is a direct race for gold and silver. Don't see those too often. To get one in the fastest heat is fantastic. Just grows ever so slightly again up towards 1 second, and looks like Mark is turning on the afterburners in the final 50 metres and starting to move away. He knew exactly what he was doing, didn't he? And James Blaby, despite a magnificent effort through 375 metres, won't hold on to the end. Mark Tuddenham will move away as if it was all pre-planned. 4:25.88. Great work, Mark, well done. James Blaby, valiant second position, 4:29.86. Ollie Etheridge, 4:34 for third place. And then James Dickinson, Dan Wass, Peter Dixon, Martin Bennell, and then we'll see David Moores come home. Great way to finish the 400 metre freestyle mixed event. That's heat 11 of 11. Once David, of course, has finished, next coming up is going to be the 100 fly. Well, we're only going to see 5 heats, 3 in the open male and 2 in the female. So well done everyone in the 400 IM. There were close to 90 competitors in that event. And next will be event 12 on our schedule. And event 12 is the 100 metre butterfly open male competition, heat number 1. And we should have 5, yes we do. We've got Derek Parr for Broomfield, Paul Reynolds for Faversham, Robert Finian for Out to Swim, Mark Sawyer for Dover Lifeguards, and Lyndon Williams for Bexley Masters. Looking between 1:30 and 2 minutes. And that's bang on with the split times, 45 seconds, opening 50. Cracking swim from Lyndon Williams, fastest to the water on paper, 1:28.8. Goes sub 90 seconds. Then Robert Finian, 1:36. Derek Parr, Paul Reynolds and Mark Sawyer will be our order 1 to 5. This is heat number 2. Heat 2, Paul Cheval for South Bedfordshire, Timothy Price for Royal Tunbridge Wells, James Dyer for Cranley, Alan Parkins for Crawley, Simon Haller for Royal Tunbridge Wells, turning to teammates in 6 and 7, Simon Griffiths and Adam Ackland, and for Hearts in 8, Clive Benson. Close between Simon Griffiths and Clive Benson. Here's Benson that takes it, 1:10.39 cracker. Representing Hartwell and Clive, Simon Griffiths, 1:11, just over a second back only, and 1:13 for Simon Haller. Heat number 3. And heat 3 is our fastest heat. Matt Nash for City of Southampton, Liam Small for Basingstoke, Brendan Gildenane for Basingstoke, Matt Rogers for Otter, Martin S. Marks for Crawley, Craig Steenoff for Hailsham, Connor Lowry for Dover Lifeguards, and Martin Schofield for Crawley. And going to the form book, Matt Rogers in lane 4. He's at the tip of the diamond as they move to his left and to his right. Winning time, 1:19. Nearly goes sub 60, ever so close. That would have been cool. Gildenane, 1:02.52 for second, 1:03 for Steenoff for third. Everybody sub 1:10. Event 13, the female 100 fly. This is heat number 1. There are 2 heats only in the female 100 fly. In heat 1, Marina Lim for Teddington, Heather Fowler for Aylesbury, and Kirsty Alfredson for Tonbridge. Let's have a look what the entry times were. We're looking at, well, between 1:45 and 2 minutes, with a split time of 48 to 50. Well, that is absolutely right. Alfredson leads Fowler and Lim. .144 Kirsty Alfredson's entry. And she's just slowing up a little bit, and I think Heather Fowler is going to pip this right on the line as fatigue starts to set in at metre 200. She does 150, or both 150s, separated by 3/4 of a second. Strong finish from Fowler, 156 for Marina Lim. Which is a lot faster than her entry time. Well done, Marina. Heat number 2. Heat 2, Elizabeth Tarr for Teddington, Sarah Ambrose for Otter, Christian Yegi for Borough of Newham, Robin Lafray for Spencer, Georgia Hain for Woking, Bethany Fern for Beachfield, and Bethany Collins for Royal Tunbridge Wells Masters. Well, look at these two go. Cracking fight down the centre, Georgia Hain and Robin Lafray. And it's going to be a dive into the wall that wins this one. They're almost symmetrically on stroke now. Oh, crikey, 109.58. It's by 0.04 of a second, Hain over Lafray. They are thankfully in different age groups, so should be 2 gold medals there. Christine Jaggi, 3rd place, 1:14. And that, in quick, sharp fashion, rounds out the heat number 13 and 12, both of our 100 flies for the men and women. Next up, we go back to a mixed event. Event number 14, the mixed 200-meter breaststroke. This is heat number 1. There will be 6 heats in our mixed 200 breaststroke. We start with Chris Jessup for Salisbury, Sally Lillian for Dear Sotters, Patricia Teal for Bexley, Diana Grote for Aylesbury, Claudine Day for Redhill and Reigate, and Trixie Nisbet for Lewis. And we're looking at roughly, Trixie was a 4:20 and Chris was a 4:51 on the qualifying or entry times. So just over two and a quarter minutes to halfway is bang on. Claudine Day will win heat number 1 of our 200 breaststroke. Time to beat was around about 4:20 It's going to be almost exactly on that, just over. So full 22.99 for Claudine. Well done, Claudine. Second, third and fourth, all to play for in the last stroke. It will be 4:32 for Patricia Teal. 33 Dana Grote and Trixie Nisbet. Well, I think she's in there too. Yeah, she was tied for second. Both of them 4:32.95, Nisbet and Teal. And Dana Grote will be fourth place. Sally Lillian in fifth. And Chris Jessup, his entry was, I think it's 5 minutes, was it? So going to be just outside, but we'll have to bear in mind this is halfway, well, almost beyond half, almost towards halfway on day 2 now. Going to be possibly the 6th event for some people. Here's Heat 1, all those times in the book. There they are. This is heat number 2. Heat 2 competitors: Shona Faulkner for South Downs Trojans, David Proctor for Leatherhead, Claire Moore for Bracknell, Julia Dorr for Red Hill and Reigate, Helen Barrios for Ruislip, Eleanor Matthews for Dover Lifeguards, Suzanne Maidment for Spencer, and Anne-Marie Adams for Medway Maritime. And Anne-Marie Adams is absolutely flying. There's only 6 seats in this event, and I don't think many will be won by more distance than this. The Medway Maritimer. Entry time 3:36. Wow, take 15 seconds off that almost. 3:22.32. Great work from Anne-Marie. Suzanne Maidment will finish a comfortable second, and then Matthews will do likewise a comfortable third. The time is around about 42? 3:47 for Matthews. Maidment's time will come up shortly, off the back up, don't worry. 3:41 it was for Suzanne. Fourth place will be for Helen Barrios, I believe. And fifth for David Proctor, before Claire Moore, Julia Dorr and Shona Faulkner will finish up the second heat for us. Well, that is a cracking time to beat that, 3:22. This is heat number 3. Taking part in heat 3, Jennifer Johnston for Lewis, Darren Creasy for Aylesbury, Mike Pride for Royal Tunbridge Wells Masters, Adam Lillian for Dis Otters, Amy Laluni for Royal Tunbridge Wells Masters, Esther Isepi for Spencer, Fiona Wiggins, CP Masters, and Jazz Strudwick for Dorking. I think CP is Crystal Palace, and I don't think they've got their pull back yet. We are down to the 3:20 entry times now for the likes of Jazz Strudwick. 3:22 we've already seen from Anne-Marie Adams in heat 2. And if you take Jazz out of this, there's only 4 or 5 metres between the entire field, with one non-starter. Jazz will retain that 5 metre or so advantage. Just looking at Darren Creasy over in lane number 2. Maybe just in the peripheral vision of Wiggins, Isepi and Alunio. Might nab a second place here. But Strudwick, who has lost her swimming cap, so it will be slowing her down slightly. She's definitely started with one. So whatever the time is here, she could have gone maybe a little bit quicker. The Dorking representative, but a comfortable win regardless of the loss of headwear. 3:23.51. Well done, Jazz. Persevered. 3:30 Fiona Wiggins and Darren Creasy. Yeah, finishes 3:30 Just half a second behind Wiggins for third place. Where did that cap go? We're looking, must be in there somewhere. Oh, I think our officials found it, mate, 3/4 down the far end. Can't see it from this angle. Which of our officials is going to go in and get it? This is heat number 4. Before we got Nick Barnard for Aylesbury, Dan Codman for Royal Tunbridge Wells Masters, Pete Woodward for Beacon, Amanda Heath for Spencer, Rachel Thomas for Didcot and Barramundi, Hayley Brown for Witham Dolphins, Louis Martin for Dover Life, and Sarah Nisbet McIntosh for Lewis. All going well for Louis Martin, 2:18 with 50 to swim. And Hayley Brown. And Sarah Nisbet McIntosh. And I should say this a little bit more split than I'd imagined it from front to back. We're definitely going to go quicker than 3:23, the current fastest time by Jazz Strudwick. But that should be expected as we go through the heats, of course. But this is looking particularly quick. But Hayley Brown is coming back on Louis Martin, and this will be potentially a very close finish as we go to the last couple of strokes. Is it going to be just a little bit too late? Oh my goodness. 28 hundredths in the end between them. What a great comeback attempt from Hayley Brown. Louis Martin takes it 3:10.02 against 3:10.30. Excellent to watch. Amanda Heath and Rachel Thomas split similarly by 0.3 of a second for third and fourth. Sarah Nisbet McIntosh in fifth, before Nick Barnard and Pete Woodward battle it out for sixth and seventh. Cracking race, well done. This is heat number 5. Penultimate heat of our second mixed event of the session. After this, it's just the 50-metre freestyles. Got Caroline Jubb for Wickham District, Joe Seymour for Droitwich, Darren Martin for Tonbridge, Antonio NG for Out to Swim, Jay Weston for Flitwick, Molly Renton, Camden Swiss Cottage, David Bryant for Woking, and David Kent for Woking. Halfway, 125, great first split. So we're on for sub 3. Everybody else between 129 and 135. So can he maintain that pace, David Kent, or has he gone out too quick? Bryant and Renton doing the chasing. Well, 1, 2, 3, and exactly the order we would maybe expect. David Kent, David Bryant, Molly Renton, the teammates leading the way for Woking. .258, we do go sub 3. Well done, David. David Bryant, 3:01, just outside, and 3:05, Molly Renton, new fastest female time of the event so far, with 1 heat to come. Joe Seymour, 3:09, and 3:11s for Antonio NG and Jay Weston, and Caroline Jubb and Darren Martin. But first person to go sub 3, David Kent for Woking. This is heat number 6. Final 8 swimmers. Jared Golden for Greenwich Royals. Bryn Hughes for Basingstoke. Gregory de Tertre for Wickham District. Alex Goforth for Hastings. Michael Nellems for Teddington. Andrew Brearley for Didcot and Barramundi. Yevgeny Putens for Bracknell. And Stuart Grant for Medway Maritime. Alex Goforth, fastest on paper. Leads into the final 50 metres. It is nip and tuck behind with Gregory de Tertre, Bryn Hughes on his left and Michael Nellems on his right. And he is being really chased down here, Alex Goforth. I think he's built up enough of a lead to maintain that win, but that came right down to the wire. 2:46 for him, 2:47s for de Tertre, and Hughes just gets it done. But for us, a great finish. And we've got 2 more events to come to close out the session. They are the 50-metre freestyle. We'll do the open male, then the female competition. There are 23 heats in total. So we go to the opposite end. We'll probably do a test on the starting machinery, I imagine. There will be 12 heats in the open male 50 freestyle, and 11 heats in the female 50 freestyle. And that will take us to lunch. Right, this is event number 15, the Open Male 50 Freestyle, heat number 1. Now, I think we have an extra entrant here in lane number 8, because I don't have a lane 8 on my sheet. So I'm going to read this as we go. James Agnall, 25.46. I think James might have been in the wrong heat. Not himself, just of course on the entry times, that's all. Chris Orchard, 36.23, that's what we were expecting. Peter Vida, 39.67. So we'll keep an eye on James's time, 25.46. That is probably good enough to be in the middle heat numbers. Roger Billing, 43.44. Then Lee Curtis. And we'll see Chris Jessup and Jeffrey Bishop will finish our first heat for us. Jeffrey Bishop in lane number 3, the only Vet 90 in the 50 freestyle, swimming for the Royal Navy. Well done, Jeffrey, 1:16.20. Lovely work. Heat number 2. Timothy O'Brien for City of Southampton, Nick Crew for Medway Maritime, Robert Finian for 8 to Swim, Kevin Whitby for Hythe, Roger Starton for Dover Lifeguards, Paul Reynolds for Faversham, David Champ for King's Cormorant, and David Norwood for Medway Maritime. David Champ over Paul Reynolds in 1 and 2. Yes, it is, both on 33s, 33.09 and 33.31. Everybody within 3 seconds of each other. Almost every heat should be like this. They will be won by hundredths of a second. Heat number 3. David Bell, Malcolm Rainier, Mark Sawyer, Alexander Newman-Burke, Donald Carville, Andrew Seaverate, Chris Dunn and Joel Storey. Joel Storey leads at halfway. But here come the pack. Oh, this is an absolutely blanket finish. Maybe Chris Dunn? No, it's David Bell in lane 1. Only our second win this weekend from lane number 1. It's David Bell, 32.19. Great work, David. Oh, fist in the air, he loves it. Champion of heat number 3. Heat number 4. Jonathan Exel, Ray Shewell Cooper, Stuart Swaffer, McDonald Owen, Christopher Ainger, Pete Woodward, Paul Cheval and Mark Partridge. Split field, but 4 at the front. Ainger, 31.04, wins it by 0.02 of a second over Paul Cheval. Should be happy. Heat number 5. Ron Meow, Alex Sutton, Larry Chan, Chris Hopton, Peter Chick, Philip Disley, Ernesto Panicia and Paul Smoothie. Oh, this is lane 5, Peter Chick. This one will not be have a big question mark over it. 28.91, cracking stuff. Only the second group of swimmers to go sub 30 after James Engel in heat number 1. Heat number 6.
I know. I was breathing every other until about 15.
Alan Parkins, Clive Benson, Derek Hutton, Nick Mellor, Alan Lackhurst, Benjamin Titchener, Matthew Sismus and Simon Haller. Oh my, is it Titchener? Yes, 29.06. Well done, Benjamin, for Didcot and Barramundi. Oh, very happy. Heat number 7. Leon Derek Lazov, Matthias Kikis, Chris Millard, Andrew Brearley, Alex Goforth, Adam Harper, Matt Nash and Ruben Gallas. Chris Millard, wow, no doubt about it, what a swim. Time, 27.37, brilliant. Matt Nash, Adam Harper, also in the low 28s. Blink and you'll miss these from here on. Heat number 8. Darren Leach, Ian Woodward, David Henderson, Tom Allen, Simon Griffiths, James Roberts, Mark Robertson on Tomasz Rybak. And it will be Rybak in 8, 27.18 for the Wantage White Horses. Straight out the pool. Heat number 9. Ben Garfield, Pavel Roglic, Ben Coles, Andrew Vateshko, Conor Lowry, Sergei Mirziov, Sean Friend and Jeko Jacobs. Oh, it's between 5 and 8. Tie for the win. It looked close. 27-16 for Jeko Jacobs and Conor Lowry. First one of those today. Maybe the only one. Heat number 10. Aidan Dunn, Paul Allen, Martin Schofield, Martin Sartorius, Jake Watson, Craig Steinoff and Tomasz Dobricki. Oh, Tomasz Dobricki all day long, 26.84. Puff of the cheeks. Good start to the, almost at afternoon, nearly midday. Heat number 11. Ryan Clay, Mark Tuzzenham, Brendan Giltonane, Oliver Espinassi, Jonathan Day, David Moores, Ethan Harris and James Grimond. Mark Tuzzenham, 25.36. Super work, and there's one more heat to come. I believe that's the first time to beat that of Angel in heat number 1. Heat number 12.
Gets halfway and I'm like, oh my god. This is a big thing, it's still killing me. It's a good like 20. It's starting to hurt quite a lot more than 50.
Dan Walker, Liam Small, William Roberts, Matt Wright, Stuart Williscroft, Martinus Marks, Martin Bennell and Matt Rogers are your final 8 to swim in the 50 freestyle. Should be the fastest swim of the entire weekend. Matthew Wright looking to make it so. Most definitely, 24.08 for Wright. Winner with the fastest time. William Roberts, 25.04. Second best of the lot. Great work, chaps. I know the female competition will close out the session for us. It's their 50-metre freestyle coming up next. This is event number 16, the female 50-metre freestyle, heat number 1. From lane number 2, we've got Jenny Ball for Ryde, Susan Dewar for Havant Waterlooville, Jane Asher for King's Cormorant, Patricia Teal for Bexley, Beverly McKenna for Hemel Hempstead, and Sue McDowell for Royal Tunbridge Wells, Monson. McDowell and McKenna are in a muck race for P1. And it will be the latter with a 46.53. Sorry, my bad. Patricia Teal in 5 and McKenna in 6. Sue McDowell was a non-starter. So Teal takes the win, 46. McKenna 47. Jane Asher with a 56.13. Susan Dewar 102. Jenny Ball 104. Just to wrap things up. This is heat number 2. Elizabeth Savage, Marcel Williams, Shelley Robinson, Marina Lim, Alison Gwynn, Gillian Ferguson, Claudine Day, and Zena Hassel. Alison Gwynn in lane 5. She will win heat 2 in a, nearly sub 40, 40.08. Ahead of also fast starting Zena Hassel. Marina Lim reigns out your top 3. Gillian Ferguson your top half. Heat number 3. Janet Wood, Trixie Nisbet, Julia Dorr, Amanda Doyle, Zorica Adams, Pauline Hogg, Victoria Avery, and Kathleen Tunnicliffe. Tunnicliffe, 36.84, first women to go, sub 40, and 5 of them do it. Joined by Hogg, Doyle and Adams in that order. This is heat number 4. Darren Creasy, Kirsty Alfredson, Catherine McCartney, Stephanie Kemp, Lok Hang Ho, Donna Trotman, Deborah Startin and Imogen Susmas. In the middle, in 4, Stephanie Kemp. Super swim, 33.97, takes almost 3 seconds off the fastest time so far. Well done, Stephanie. This is heat number 5. Heather Fowler, Helen Andrews, Nuala Moore-Cochrane, Kate King, Jackie Finn, Sarah Brainwood, Gemma Cotton-Hunt and Gail Henry. Gail Henry, she'll take this one, 33.18, just beats the fastest time so far through 5 heats. Well done, Gail. Sarah and Gemma in your top 3, all on this near side. This is heat number 6. Alex Smith, Lindsay Calione, Becky Owen, Eleanor Matthews, Jazz Strudwick, Nicola Mella, Rona Courtier and Jennifer Kelly. Down the middle again, 5 and 6, Strudwick and Mella. Mella 31.61 by only, what's that, 1600ths. As we get closer and closer, Becky Owen and then Jennifer Kelly. Heat number 7. Nicola Wright, Karen Jendon, Sarah Mercer, Elizabeth Ryan, Anne-Marie Adams, Abigail Hunt, Bethany Thuringer and Emma Butterwick. In lane 4, red cap of Elizabeth Ryan and Reading Swimming Club. Well done, Elizabeth. Just 4 heats to go. This is heat number 8. Elizabeth Wells, Jay Weston, Laura Cook, Tamami Chishumara, Nicole McKenzie, Anna Hamilton, Sarah Ambrose and Jodie Cox. Close between 1 and 6, but Anna Hamilton gets it at 30.43, nearly the first woman to go sub 30. Elizabeth Wells in second from lane number 1. Heat number 9. Louise Brass, Natalie Bird-Lucas, Lucy Young, Jo Seymour, Eloise Trevis, Kelly Clark, Stacey Jo Richards and Sarah Preston. Nothing to separate them, 10 metres to swim. Here's Eloise Trevis just coming through. But she's going to take Kelly Clark with her. It's Clark that gets it, 31.36. Look at that blanket finish on the near side. 1, 2, 3, 4. A tie for second. All within a couple of tenths. This is heat number 10. Natalia Gadorenko, Lindsay Wright, Ella Hale, Martina Cambruzzi, Catherine Markwell, Rhiannon Elston, Deborah Aresu and Helen Comba. Once again, very close at halfway. Who comes through in the second 25? All down the bottom, Deborah Aresu and Helen Comba. And it will be in lane 7. Deborah Arezu made it look pretty clean in the end. That's the closest we've seen to sub 30 in the fastest time so far. 30.07 for the Windsor swimmer. Heat number 11. Ebola Senes, Carla King, Nicole Ryan, Jessica Shaw, Georgina Hain, Sammy Wilson, Jordan Rogers-Mills, and Christina Bramley. This should go through the middle. Our final heat, centrally seeded. So we're looking at Ryan, Shaw, Hain and Wilson. There's the two inside the yellow lane ropes, but Nicole Ryan's coming too. Three of them to the wall. Oh, it's Nicole Ryan that gets it by 200ths of a second. There's 400ths between the top three. That's a way to finish a session. Just short, Georgina Hain just missing out on a heat win. Now they are Ryan and Shaw in the same age group actually as well, so that was a race for gold and silver. And they are the only girls, including the top 7 there, that go sub 30. So we did save the best right to the very end. And that concludes swimming for session number 3 this weekend. Big thank you to our officials, poolside, all your sterling work. Well done, thank you. Looking forward in the schedule. Oh, by the way, don't forget to come and collect medals. So this is a great time to come and get medals now, folks. Back of the gallery at the starting end. Form an orderly queue. It might get busy now. There's no swimming action for a bit. Right, on the schedule, warm-up will start at 12:45. Open male 50 years and over, 15 minutes. Then the female 50 years and over. Then the male 50 years and under. And the female 50 years and under. Okay? So from 12:45, 50 years and over for the male, and then the female, 50 years and under for the male, then the female. And we start swimming at 1:50. So warm up 12:45, racing starts at 1:50.
Who knows? See you in a minute. Breaststroke I'm alright at. I can't see where I am. So I'm on that freestyle. I'm good where I am. I thought my high velocity was good up to about here.
Registration sheets are out there.
Right, registration sheets for session 4. Say that carefully. Registration sheets for session 4 are now available. So you've got to sign in for the session. Please make sure you sign in for the session number 4. Otherwise you will not be on the heat sheets. Okay, so please sign in for session 4. The registration sheets are now available where you would have found them in the same place this morning. Make sure you are competing in the session. Okay, the official warm-up is starting in 5 minutes' time, so we need to clear the pool other than open male 50 years and over. They'll be from 12:45 till 1 o'clock. So other than open male 50 years and over, we need to clear the pool, please. Ahead of the warm-up, your safety, as ever, is paramount. And you are reminded that the depth of the water is 1.8 at the shallow end, 1.9 at the deep end. Starting blocks are 0.6 metres above water level. Coaches and team managers, only those swimmers who have reached the standard of the Swim England Competitive Start Award can start with a shallow racing dive. If there's a false start, continue with a shallow racing dive. Do not topple into the water, head downwards. If you're starting in the water, lower yourself over the side. Do not jump or dive. If we have to evacuate the building, an alarm will sound and there'll be an announcement over the PA. Follow the instructions of the lifeguards and the pool staff. To evacuate the building, use the marked emergency exits. Do not return to changing rooms to collect any clothes or belongings. Simple as that. So 12:45, our first of 4 warm-ups will